udělám.
Musíš ale dát tyhle sedy.
Jo.
To možná. Hello everyone, we are back for round 3 here. The match is already underway and we have Klára Celikovska with Affinity against Julian Knab playing at Nauseam. This matchup is basically just about racing, right?
Yeah, I would guess so. There is not really much room for any interaction between those two players. Those two decks. Like, Klára has to just deal enough damage to Julian before he can go off. And actually, that might be the case in this game because Julian has pretty slow draw. Because like, the Lotus Bloom is a card he won on turn 1, and not as late.
Yeah, even something like the what is called the 3-mana spell?
You mean for example, Unlife?
Yeah, isn't great against Inmod Nexus. So Klára might just go for that plan.
Also, I see that Klára has her copy of Stubborn Denial in the main deck, which she is playing. I see 2 copies of.
Yeah. And Klára is just printing lethal on the following turn, and there is not much Julian can do about that. He can have something like a Slaughter Pact, but Angel's Grace or Phyrexian Unlife is not gonna prevent the Inmod Nexus from killing him.
And as I see Julian's deck list, he doesn't even run Slaughter Pact in his main deck, so this should be a pretty easy game for Klára actually.
Yeah. Julian is considering firing of the 1-mana tutor spell. Let's see what he wants to hit. I think there is something like 15% that you're gonna die even on 20 lives when you cast the spell.
Yeah,
so
sometimes it happens.
Let's see how it will turn out.
But like, if you're ridiculous, what do you even name? Oh, so he knew what he was going for.
Okay. Yeah, so he basically just cycled the tutor, which makes sense at this point.
But like, judging from Julian's deck list, I don't really see what he's going to do this turn to
Yeah, he's probably
die.
just gonna die.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just gonna hope that Klára won't go for it, but it's just not going to happen.
And player also kind, so you know, Julian has 7 poison, if you see the small paper.
Yeah. Especially with a Stubborn Denial, there's just nothing that can go wrong, right?
Yeah, I guess there is no way Klára is just not killing him this turn.
Yeah. We might have a really fast match here.
Okay, as we said.
That's for the game 1.
Okay,
Let's
that
look
was
at the
really quick.
sideboards.
Okay, so Peter is going to cover the Affinity deck, and I will be doing the Julian's ad Nauseam deck.
Yes, as you could see in the first game, the matchup for Affinity is really good, especially thanks to the Nexus. All that Klára is gonna bring in is just gonna be some way to interact with the combo deck. She has access to one Thoughtseize, potentially Ancient Grudge to deal with the Pendant Prism or the Lotus Bloom, even though it's not that great against Lotus Bloom because you can obviously kill it on upkeep, but they can just respond it at Nauseam if they have enough mana. Then she has, that's basically about it. The matchup is so good for her that she doesn't have to commit a lot of slots for this matchup.
But what I see here, the Julian's matchup should really improve afterboard, because he has 3 Darkness, which is basically a Black Fog. He has Slaughter Pact, which he is certainly going to bring in. He has Echoing Fruit, which is also great in this matchup. And then he might also, I don't think it's completely unreasonable to bring in the Duress, because Klára can be packing some of the sideboard hate, like Stubborn Denial and stuff like that. And like, 1 Duress isn't that much of a cost, right?
Yeah, it will depend on if the cards in the main deck are worse, I think that it might be better than something like Pack of Negation, but I don't know. The rest doesn't seem so great.
Yeah.
You can also
Okay.
discard something like Cranial Plating, so it's not the worst, I guess.
Yeah, but like really, Julian is gonna cut the Fricton on life as we thought, right?
I'm not actually sure. If Klára doesn't draw the Inkmon Nexus, it can be actually pretty good against the rest of the Klára's deck. Well, and it's a part of the combo with Nauseam, so I don't
But
think
like,
that.
it might be also pretty slow.
Yeah, but it's just a combo piece that also can do something against Klára's deck. So I would be surprised if Julian brought it out. Also, he doesn't really have that much to bring in, so
Like he has like 5 cards. I'm pretty certain he will bring in, but there's like, I don't know. You would pretty much want to cut it by the negation if you weren't scared about of the sideboard cards, but I'm not sure about that.
yeah.
I
He,
guess
I'm surprised that Julian doesn't have any Affinity hate, given how popular the deck is, and given how bad the matchup is. Something like Hurkyl's Recall would be pretty great here.
I'm also very surprised I don't see any recalls in his sideboard.
Yeah. So let's see if the players are already. Yeah, it looks like Klára is mulliganing and Julian kept his summon. Do you know what is this card?
No, I was just trying to.
Scanful
decode it.
Egoist or something
Do you know
along
what the
those
card
lines.
does?
No, I have no idea.
Okay, give me a second. I can look. Okay, so
Looks like Julian chose to be on a draw.
that's really surprising.
Yeah. I'm super surprised by that.
Yeah, like this matchup was only about clock, right?
Yeah, it's just a pure race. Well, I don't know. Yeah, Klára has a plaything which is a pretty fast clock. She doesn't have that many artifacts just now, but that is gonna change in the next turn. And plaything is the exact card that you want to see in this matchup. It's just the fastest clock that you can put on the board. Something like Master of Ethereum is great also, just because the Ad Nauseam deck is not gonna be able to kill it very often, and it provides a huge threat that it's also pumping all of your other creatures. So certainly better than something like Edge Champion, that's for sure.
Okay, it appears that there is a judge call. I'm not really sure about what is it.
It might be about the play or draw. I mean, I think it's too late at this point. Yeah, I think they just realized that Julian was supposed to be on a play.
Okay, so
I mean, I think it's just too late at this point. Like, neither player realized it, and it's just, yeah. I mean, I don't think the judge can like take 3 turns back or something like that.
no.
This is actually the first time I've seen anything like this. Like both players forgetting who should be on a play.
It's super weird. Okay, so we have more judges coming, so
I mean, I just can't see any other ruling than just like let it be.
yeah, of course. Like, of course, it's a very stupid mistake, but what we are going to do about it?
Yeah, Mate went to ask what exactly is going on, just to make sure that the player draw thing is actually what the judge appeal was about. Yes, so the judge appeal was exactly what we thought was that it was about. The players realized on Klára's second turn that Julian was actually supposed to be on the play. Uh, there was a judge ruling that they should just let it be, but Julian appealed to head judge, so they are waiting for the ruling. This is just absurd.
And I was just asking the judge, and he told me something like that there was a miscommunication between the two players on who would start. And after one player took the first turn, it was something like if they played the turns simultaneously. It's like really absurd what happened over there.
I'm pretty sure that Klára just played her World Scourge or whatever, and then Julian played his own. It just
Yeah.
like wasn't at the same time.
Okay, okay.
Maybe he was just like ignoring what she's doing.
Yeah, maybe he
I
was
don't
just
know.
thinking, and Clara just for suddenly had Volscourge on the
Yeah.
battlefield.
I mean, they just can't take back two turns, right? Both players have too much information about their opponent's cards, so
So like I guess they just have to resolve on whose turn is it and which turn is it, and after that they can just continue playing. Like I guess it's just going to be the same, but as it is. So Clara will will appear on the play, and Julian is not very happy about that. So Peter went to check it again, and after a brief moment, we will tell you what's going to happen. já si dám jako přesně to.
So Matej is just trying to figure out what actually happened. He went to ask judge. Looks like they let Julian begin, which is not what I would expect. So what happened exactly, Matej?
So I was just asking the judge, and he told me that the head judge went over there, and the whole game was backed up, which I didn't really think that was gonna happen, but you see it.
That's really surprising to me. That might actually just like turn this game completely around.
Yeah, probably will, because Julian has already fixed an unlife on the battlefield, so that probably means that he's gonna win next turn if he's able to produce at least 5 mana for the Nauseam.
Yep. And it looks like he has both a Nauseam and Spirit Guide in his hand, so we might just see a win here. Does he have the 4th land as well?
No, he does not, but he has second copy of Simian Spirit Guide.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so he was just shortcutting.
Can he actually win without 3 Simian Spirit Guides?
I guess so, because the flashback on Lightning Storm only costs 2 red, so
okay.
he will find, or I think that it costs only 2 red. So, also he has a Laboratory Maniac in his deck.
Okay.
So I guess there's just like no way he will not win this turn.
Yeah, if I was Klára, I would just ask Julian to just like show me his whole deck, and then I would probably just concede, just to know how he boarded it and stuff, just to know what to play around in the next game. But there's just no point in letting him go.
The card Lightning Storm, it does 2 damage for each land, correct?
I think 3.
3, okay.
I'm not sure though.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be able to deal more than 35 damage.
Yeah, of course. Like, I talked about some people, and it's real. It's real that you can just stumble on not having enough lands in your deck, but that happens very rarely.
I'm not sure about the exact number, how much damage can the Nauseam deck actually deal, but I think it's over 50. And given the fact that he played at Nauseam with only 3 lands on the battlefield, he's probably gonna be able to more than enough.
Yeah, I would say so as well.
Yeah, someone in the chat pointed out that you actually need 3 mana for your Lightning Storm to work, but he could use his land drop, so it was fine.
Yep. Okay, and we saw he also boarded into his Laboratory Maniac. And I was about to ask a question. In the post-board games, do you even see yourself from the Affinity side? Would you just like mulligan to the hate, or you just keep everything that can like kill?
Well, you either need a fast clock or you need hate. Like if you have some kind of a slow draw with just like something like Steel Overseer, you should probably mulligan, even though the hand would be potentially great in other matchups. But I wouldn't go as far as mulliganing every hand without hate. Like something like turn 2 attack with plating is probably good enough, especially if you have the Inkpot Nexus, which is probably the best card in the matchup.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Probably even better than some kind of a anti-combo piece, just because it ignores so much of what Julian is trying to do, and it kills so fast. Let's see if they don't mess up who should be on the play this time.
I guess that won't happen again.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it won't.
And so Klára is going to be on play, which is a huge factor in this matchup, right?
Yes, for sure.
Okay, and also we haven't seen Lotus Bloom from Julian on turn 1, which is like the key piece to even assembling the combo. Of course, you can do it just by casting those Pendant Prisms or something like that, but if Julian can have Lotus Bloom and maybe Darkness, like or another sideboard cards like Echoing Truth or Slaughter Pact, we could actually see him pull it off pretty easily. even on draw, because I would say after board, he has actually a very reasonable chance to defeat Affinity.
Yeah, we are sorry about the lagging that is happening every now and then. We were unable to connect to the internet that we had yesterday, so we needed to use a Wi-Fi, which isn't that great. But I think that it couldn't be worse. We are apologizing for that. Let's see if Klára has a fast draw.
Attention Commander players.
I think I see a plating. I didn't see an Ink 1 X's. Just the blank mode one, which is obviously worse in this matchup. Julian is taking mulligan, which is obviously played for Klára because the Nauseam deck needs to assemble enough pieces. They need enough mana on time, and then they need both way to not die to Nauseam and the Nauseam itself.
Also on draw, you should pretty much want a piece of interaction in your hand, because
Yeah, you can
Klára-
just die on turn 4 or something.
of course. I think I saw some cards in Klára's hand. She has like pretty reasonable start. She has, I think, Ravager, Volt Scourge, Signal Past, Ornithopter, and 2 lands. I would guess,
Yeah,
which is not the greatest, but you just keep it because it's really fast.
yeah. I mean, Ravager is obviously worse than Plating, but in this matchup it's pretty similar. It can get blown out by something like Echoing Truth, but in most games you'll just hope that they don't have it and just go for it to kill them as soon as possible.
Okay, and Julian has Lotus Bloom, which I talked about, but it appears that he doesn't have any blue mana because he has cantrips from a mana, but he kept a hand with
Okay.
only planes.
Yeah, I mean on 6 you just have to keep any-handed Lotus Bloom, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Especially with the Scry and being on the draw. I just don't blame him for keeping that hand.
No, I'm not saying that, but I think the game could be really interesting if Julian doesn't find another land. Oh, and there it is. This is Dreadship Reef. All right, right?
Yeah. The problem with that card is that it doesn't add blue mana
Yeah,
immediately.
it's very slow.
So, yeah, I think we're just gonna see Klára sacking a bunch of artifacts just to make this Ravager bigger.
Yeah, like there is a Spare Monk's Opal and the Darkseid Citadel, which
Yeah.
are not really doing anything.
I mean, it's a complicated math. Maybe you want to sacrifice only one of those land sources in case you draw plating, so
Yep.
that you can equip it immediately, because the 1 point of damage might not make a difference. I didn't actually make the math, but looks like that's what Klára decided.
And like also you can play that card on the other turn. Or sorry, sacrifice the artifact on the next turn.
Yeah,
Right.
but the 1 point of damage this turn might make a difference. I didn't actually make the math. It doesn't seem to be the case, but I'm just saying it could.
Okay, so Julian has probably the last turn. Like, those 2 turns will be probably the last ones of the game, because Julian has to have Darkness right here, or Echoing Truth, to even survive this turn, and after that he has to have the kill, because Klára can just go for the kill next turn again.
Looks like he's got a Scryland. Then he will be forced to use Simon's Pretty Guy to cast this Friction on life, which will mean that he will have one more draw step. Problem is that there are still 2 counters on the Lotus Bloom, right? Or
No,
Only one?
only one, I think.
okay,
I
so
think
he can potentially win next turn, unless Klára draws something.
Yeah, it appears that there's only one.
Looks like things are going well for Julian after all. Something like a Thoughtseize or a Stubborn Denial would be just backbreaking here. Backbreaking, sorry.
Like, I think there's a problem with that, because I don't really see Nauseam in Julian's hand.
Oh really?
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah,
I'm
maybe I'm just blind.
yeah, maybe I don't see it right, but I don't think Julian has it.
Okay. Then that makes it interesting. For those of you who don't know how Friction and Life works, if you're at 8 life and your opponent is attacking for 18, it's not that they are gonna kill you. You're gonna go to -10, and then you get poison damage next turn. So like it doesn't really matter for how much you're attacking if you have Friction and Life in play. So Klára is making sure that she has a lethal next turn and just hoping that
Okay,
she
so
won't die now.
now it is all on Julian. So I think he has he has the one mana to the card.
Yeah, so that should mean that he should win, right? He can search for it now.
Yeah, and doesn't cost him. Yeah. Okay, so if Klára doesn't have any piece of interaction in her hand, that should mean that Julian is going to be able to win this turn, and
Maybe she drew the Stubborn Daniel. That just would be great.
yeah, if she drew Stubborn now, it would be so sick.
Looks like the stream is lagging again. That sucks.
Okay, so the stream is going okay this time, but the game already ended, and Julian won as we predicted.
Yep. In the other feature matches, there